Because that is what it feels when we have a tough, long week. Yes? Yes. Yeah? Now, I know that you all are tough people. So I'm going to ask for a few tough hints. So are you okay with that? Few things I'm going to ask from you. Yeah? Thank you. Okay, so the toughest of all is to put your phones away, on silent.
Away.
The toughest. Just away from you, on silent. Yeah? Now a little tougher one is to avoid speaking on everyone's favorite topics, which is gender, politics, and religion when you come on stage. Because these topics are also sensitive, and we want to avoid hurting anyone's sentiments. A little tough one is that I request you all to remain seated on your seats through the meeting. But there is a relaxation here. If you have to move around, or if you have to enter or exit the room, then please do so when you hear an applause. That's all I am asking you to do. Easy peasy? All good? Thank you. Now I am going to introduce you to a person. But before that, let me ask you, who all have been a part of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club Speechcraft program? Anyone? Yeah, just that hand, like you can raise it up, right, to be visible. Yeah. And the Speechcraft is one place where we have the most exciting part. And the most exciting part about the Speechcraft program is that we have education sessions by the most experienced Toastmasters from our club. Do you agree that? Yes. Yeah, most of us have enjoyed that. Now, this last Sunday, we have a Speechcraft already going on. And this last Sunday, we had a special session by a special person. This special person is a communication trainer with corporates and colleges. And the special session he did was on the power of words. Now I kept wondering, what is this, where does his fun and pun-filled speeches come from? And I got a glimpse of that. And I also learned that you have to be an extremely observant person to make your speeches humorous and lively. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together in welcoming the tenacious and precious President of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, Sheeb Kumar.
I wish my wife was here, tenacious and precious. Right? Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amrith. Give a round of applause for Toastmaster Amrith. I declare the meeting number 1470. Before I begin the meeting, I request our Secretary Toastmaster Mahesh to read out some glimpses from the previous meeting 1469.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests.
Good evening.
Meeting number 1469 was held on March 14th. The theme of the meeting was People Make the World a Canvas of Colors. The word of the day, vibrant. The Best Speaker Award was won by Toastmaster Akash. The Best Evaluator was DTM Vijayan. The Best Role Taker was Toastmaster Vijayan. The Best Table Topic Speaker was Toastmaster And the Best Auxiliary Role Taker was Toastmaster Puneeth Suraana. For more details, please tune into Bangalore Toastmasters YouTube channel.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mahesh. Members, is there any amendment to the minutes of the meeting? No? Yeah. Declare the minutes of the meeting 1469 passed. I request guests who came here for the first time to please stand up. For the first time. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Members, how do we welcome our guests? Tough times never last. Tough people do. What about married people? Tough times never last, right? I was 18 in the first semester, engineering student in the hostel. But when you're in the first semester, hostel is not accommodation. Hostel is like a prison. Hunger Games plus Big Boss hosted by seniors. Ragging. And you are always one missed call away from humiliation. And one night I was peacefully sleeping and I heard a knock on my door. I opened my eyes, switched on the lights, and opened the door. I saw my classmate Shaju standing there, shivering, eyes wide open, trembling voice. He said, Sheeb, room number 98, seniors calling me. And room number 98 is the Bermuda Triangle of our hostel. Yes. I followed Shaju, both of us wearing lungi, the dress code of doom. And we stood before that room number 98. It's like I told you, Bermuda Triangle. People go in, come out without dignity. So we both entered there. Within 30 seconds, boom, we were in our birthday suits. Yes. And then I saw a senior with a bottle of black ink and an A3 white paper on his left hand coming. And he asked Shaju. And he poured the ink on the floor and asked Shaju to sit on that ink naked. So Shaju sat on the black ink and he asked him to stand up. And he asked him again to sit on that white paper. It's like a Xerox impression, right? I was there shivering like a Nokia 1100 in a vibration mode. And then, with a bated breath, I was waiting. Then the senior said, Sheeb, gave me the pen. Now you sign that white paper. I thought, just sign! My God, thank God. Is that all the task? I was thanking Lord Ayurveda. Then as I was bending down to sign, one of the seniors screamed, do you sign a document without even checking the original? So I was checking the original Shaju's. Yes, and I signed. My dear fellow Toastmasters, that was my ragging days. And it continued for 30 days till the Freshers' Day. Good PYC. Yes. So, I remember rule number 98 not only for that day or the continuing days, but on that day, for the first time in my life, I saw a book written by Robert Harold Schuller. And the book is Tough Times Never Last. Tough People Do. Then I realized later that even though I don't advocate ragging because it's, in my opinion, it is illegal, we should not, nobody deserves that. But looking from that lens of experience, I would say it benefited me a large extent because it gave me that tenacity to actually face more challenges in my coming days. And not only that, after that ragging, what happens is that bonding between the seniors and juniors is, it's in my opinion, precious. They become your best friend and their book become your book. So what I learned is, in life, times keep changing like the, what do you call it? It's like tough. Initially, what you say is hard times create strong men. And strong men create good times. And good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. So it keeps on changing. So if we have those tough times, what happens is, when a weak mind sees a situation, it becomes a problem. When a balanced mind sees a situation, it's like a challenge. When a strong mind sees a situation, it's more of an opportunity. So to take us to the opportunity, we have a person here, and he was part of our committee when I was there for 2 times. So every time, our past president, Toastmaster Jose Paul, used to call him Bruno. Yes. And so I don't really think, who's Bruno? For those who don't know Bruno, Bruno is not his dog. Bruno is his dear father. And long back, there was a fight at his house when he was born to name the child. And the fight began with the Cold War and ended in summer 69. You know what I'm talking about, Bryan Adams. His father was a die-hard fan of Bryan Adams, and he named his son because of that song, which reminded us of the best times of our life, summer of 69. Now, I have a serious doubt that his grandfather was a die-hard fan of Bruno Mars. I don't know. And some of you don't know his hidden talent. He is a parody song writer. Yes. When we sang Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, how I wonder what you are, he belted out, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, point me to the nearest bar. So check out his parody accounts. I'm sure this guy will become a motivational speaker or a TEDx speaker or a best-selling author, because I've had the fortune of reading some of his blogs, and he writes very well. And when you talk about D'Souza and Diamond, might go well in Bollywood, right? But as far as Toastmasters is concerned, this person is a real gem. Sharp, flawless, always ready to shine. So please help me welcome with a thunderous round of applause, the dashing, daring, and dynamic Toastmaster Bryan Nelson D'Souza.
In the year 1918, a kid was born by the name Rohilala Mandela. Mr. Mandela was born during a very dark time in South Africa, during the apartheid era. The apartheid era is where discrimination was all across the country against the colored. When Mr. Mandela wanted to pursue education, when he was enrolled for schooling, there was a law in South Africa which stated that every African who gets admitted to a school must be given an English name. And hence, on the very first day of his school, Rohilala Mandela became Nelson Mandela. The name was given to him by his school teacher. Mr. Mandela went on to pursue law, and after his graduation, returned back to Johannesburg to practice the profession. As he practiced his profession, he became an advocate against discrimination. In the year 1962, he was arrested on seditious activities. Seditious activities which was protesting against discrimination. He was jailed for 27 long years, which he says was one of the toughest times of his life. His time eventually came across. In the year 1990, he was released. But when he was released, he became the face of opposition, the face of the protesting against discrimination, not only in South Africa, but across the globe. His suffering became a testament for something that we fight against the good. Similar to Nelson Mandela, who was born in 1918, there was another gentleman back in the United States called Ralph C. Smedley. Ralph C. Smedley is the founder of the Toastmasters movement. He founded the very first Toastmasters meeting, Toastmasters Club, at Santa Ana, California in the year 1924. A quick question for all the members who will be attending Toastmasters meetings. What is the original name of the very first club Ralph C. Smedley founded? The original name of the very first Toastmasters Club was the YMCA Public Speaking Club. It was not until 1930 that the term Toastmasters came up. Toastmasters today spans across 149 countries with over 14,000 clubs and 270,000 members. This club, the Bangalore Toastmasters Club, was founded in the year 1997, making it the second oldest club in India. A typical Toastmasters meeting has three segments: the prepared speech segment, the table topic segment, and the evaluation segment. In the prepared speech segment, speakers prepare a speech in advance, come on stage and work on their delivery. Whereas the table topic session helps you answer the tricky questions. Questions like what your date asks you, what is your past, what's the salary. Questions like these can be easily answered by the help of table topics, which helps you in impromptu speaking. The third segment, called the evaluation segment, you can relate it to a date-like scenario, but here that general evaluator is that pokey waiter who listens to each and every conversation you have with your partner. If in case she dumps you, you know whom to ask for errors. But don't worry, he is not that pokey waiter. I will be introducing him at the later stages of the meeting. Now, a quick exercise for all the guests in the room. Have you been in a situation where you used incorrect grammar in a sentence? Yes. Have you been in a situation where you use too many filler words in a sentence? Yes. Have you been in a situation where you've spoken for too long or spoken very little? Most of us have been. But you know what they say? The most obvious answer to your problems usually lie right in front of you. To help us with our grammar, our timings, and our filler words, we have something called the tag team in Toastmasters: the timer, accountant, and the grammarian. As the timer for today, we have a data engineer at IQVIA with over 14 years of experience. Being his hobby is cricket. And let's see what the timer says about time. Time is valuable and it should be spent on interests and needs. Toastmasters, give a huge round of applause in welcoming the time of the day, Toastmasters, Shreyas S.
There is a famous saying, you can only manage time if you track it right. So today my role is to track time of the contestants who are coming up on stage. So there are three parts, as Bryan said. First one is prepared speech, which is usually of 5 to 7 minutes. I'll be showing a green card as soon as he has qualified for the minimum amount of time, that is 5 minutes. And following a yellow card and then a red card. Then the second part is the table topics. The time duration is 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. And the last part is the evaluation. It is 2 to 3 minutes. So, prepared speech and evaluation has a grace period of 30 seconds, and table topics has a grace period of 15 seconds. After the grace period, I'll be ringing a bell when the contestant has to vacate the stage. Thank you, and all the best to all the contestants.
Thank you so much, Shreyas, for letting us know when you will be kicked out of the team. Moving on, to help us with our filler words, we have a senior software engineer who loves singing. The next coming to make sure to put him in the installation ceremony because we really need to hear him sing. His views on crutch words are simple. It should be avoided and that is not taken seriously enough. Welcome. Please join me in welcoming on stage the all-rounder for the day, Toastmaster Akash Anand.
Good evening, dear members and guests.
Good evening.
So, as your founder, as Bryan told, I know I won't be taken seriously, but still, in my capacity, I would like to tell each and every speaker on stage that you should avoid speaking filler words like you know, but, and, literally, basically, and once you start avoiding them, you will feel that you have become a better speaker. So maybe, I know you won't listen to your mom, you won't listen to yourself, but maybe I can help you in reducing your filler words. Over to you.
Don't listen to your mom, don't listen to anyone else, listen to Akash Anand. Moving on to help us with grammar, we have a HR consultant working at a chemical research company with over 14 years of experience. She loves fitness, traveling, and is currently reading the book Thinking Slow but Fast. And fast, sorry. She says grammar is important to ensure we get our point across effectively. And it is correct. Help me welcome Toastmaster Himani Pandey as the grammarian for the day.
Toastmasters and guests, as a grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers and be carefully listening to good usages of English language as well as not so good usages. And also the 7 sins of grammar like double negatives, double comparison, disagreement between subject and verb, and incorrect tense usages. And I'll be sharing my report at the end of the meeting. I will also report any good words used during the meeting, any thoughts or any outstanding words. Just to introduce the word of the day, which is tenacious, you can see on the board as well. To demonstrate the use of the word, she is a tenacious woman who never gives up. So all the best to all the speakers.
Thank you, Dr. Himani. Let's do a quick vibe check before we jump into the prepared speech segment. Are we all lazy for today's meeting? No. Let me ask again. Do we all feel lazy for today's evening?
Not at all.
No.
Are we all ready for today's meeting?
Yes.
Top of the world. Before I call upon the first speaker, I would like to call upon the first evaluator who will be evaluating the speaker. When I asked him how many years of experience he has in his field, he gave me a very funny answer. He told me, Bryan, 5 years. 5 years until your date of birth. It was in 2004. He has over 27 years of experience. He's a regional key accounts leader. He loves to be around wildlife. Also, the past president of the club. Evaluator number 1, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan Raison.
Toastmasters Club guest, the speaker is adopting a project from the Pathways plan. Okay, so the purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with the defined purpose. So that means to write a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Time, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijayan. Huge round of applause. The first speaker come on stage is a BCom student. She loves drawing and she had a very tough experience that made her a tough person altogether. When she was in the 9th grade, she could not take part in a inter-house or throwball competition because she could not stand up for herself. But in the year following, she learned her lesson. She made it to the inter-house throwball competition after learning from her experience. Mentored by Toastmaster Priyanka Ranore with the speech title Imperfectly Perfect, welcome on stage Toastmaster Bhavana S.
Beauty is taught way before it's ever questioned. By age 5, I learned that my dark skin made me feel less inferior in the eyes of people around me. Growing up as a dark-skinned girl, I often heard people around me say, Bhavna, drink turmeric, or use multani beauty, fair. But listening to all this, I always felt insecure throughout my childhood. Even in school, my classmates would often pass comments on my skin tone, and I often thought that I was not good looking. Growing up not knowing how to accept myself for who I was, I followed all the remedies people around me told. From applying fruit masks to rubbing my face with turmeric and milk, and even using fairness creams. I tried it all, hoping to change the skin tone of mine and fitting into the beauty standards which are constantly being imposed on me. Now, since a child's face is extremely sensitive, I started developing these rashes in my skin. After which, my friends took me to hospital where the doctor told me to not use any products until I grew. Eventually, growing up, my confidence started withering. My mom noticed this change. And after weeks of gentle persistence, I finally broke down to her about my insecurities. She then held my hand in hers and asked me, "So what, Bhavna? So what if you're dark skinned?" Her voice was firm but yet kind. She asked me, "So what if you're dark skinned, and will that make you less worthy of love? Will that change the essence of who you are?" She kept asking until I realized that I had no answers to these questions. I kept thinking, wondering about her words. Until I finally realized that I was measuring my worth with the use of someone else's ruler. According to studies by WHO, in India, 50% of women have used fairness creams at least once in their lifetime. Which is quite irony because India has a large number of brown-skinned people, and the majority of them want to fit into these beauty standards and change their skin tone to a lighter shade. As I grew and started understanding biology, I learned how important melanin is for our body, and that is when I truly started appreciating my body for what it was and what it is. Now, recently, I was quite surprised recently when I was tutoring a girl. She showed me a picture of her friend and asked me, "Didi, who do you think is prettier?" I looked at the picture and smiled and told her, "You both look pretty to me." She then told me, "No, Didi, she looks prettier because she's fairer than me." I was taken by surprise because how society has been changing recently with people promoting more positivity and self-love. I thought children these days wouldn't have to face the same troubles that I faced. But perhaps there is some beliefs which are strongly ingrained in people still. This shades and colors. With that, the skin that I once felt the need to apologize for is now my shield, protecting not only me but also my confidence that I worked so hard for. I learned that true beauty doesn't lie only outside but also inside and out both. The skin, own your skin because that is the only home you'll ever have, and decorate it with pride rather than apology. With that in mind, thank you and have a very good evening to
Toastmaster Bhavana, you are not just imperfectly perfect, you are perfectly perfect. Moving on to the second speech of today's evening. Before I call upon the second speaker, I would like to introduce the second evaluator. He's a chess player, an area director at District 92, with over 7+ years in the entrepreneurial field as a trainer and a coach. A past president of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Introducing to the evaluator for the second speaker, Toastmaster Shashank Bhatt.
The speaker Girish is attempting the first project from level 2, which is understanding your communication style from the path presentation mastery. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. The time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shashank. How many of you have dreamt of going to Ladakh on a bike? Oh, many multiple. Well, speak about that. We have with us a manager in the automotive field working with Bosch. He loves to read and is currently clocking 10,000 steps a day. He says his parents' expectations make the person he is today. Mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Dr. Rajdeep Manwani with the speech title Bike Trip to Ladakh. Bike Trip to Ladakh. Welcome on stage Toastmaster Girish K.
Let me begin by asking a simple question. How many of you have planned a trip with your friends? Perfect. And now, how many of you actually went on that trip? Lucky for you guys. Because planning a trip with my friends was just like planning a strategy meeting in a board meeting, strategy in a board meeting. It had all the things like a lot of enthusiasm, debates, brainstorming, even budget discussion. But when it comes to final execution, it is not there. Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests.
Good evening. Good evening.
Last week, I went to my friend's daughter's birthday party, where I met most of my school friends there. Everybody glued to their mobile, just scrolling through the screen. It's a common screen seen today in any gathering. As well with me, I was doing the same. While scrolling the screen, I just was bombed with a viral reel, where I could see that a group of friends in their mid-30s planned to go to a trip on bike to Ladakh. Then 2 seconds later, I see that okay, they are still debating and discussing, now in their 60s. Now, I showed this video to my friends, and then they said, is it us? Then I saw this as an opportunity. I said, okay, now, me being a sort of an initiator, I thought this is an opportunity and slowly started this discussion. Maga, why not bike trip to Ladakh? with full of enthusiasm and excitement, just like the Red Bull energy drink. I could not contain my excitement. I said, just imagine all of us on our bullet, having our biker jackets, sneaking through, strolling through the routes of Rohtang Pass, the highest motorable roads, and then enjoying the picture-perfect scenic beauty all around us. And then endless roads, feeling the wind on your face. What a beauty it could be. And then we said, okay, why not also a camping at night in the sky, enjoying the crunchy noodle in the cold breeze of glaciers. It could be legendary, a lifelong memory for us. Even before my friends could process this, my friend Devraj is a cut to the chase guy. Girish, stop the drama. When are we going? Who are all in? What is the budget? You see, Devraj is very direct. We call it direct Devraj. See, Devraj is like GPS. He is very precise, but no emotion. He doesn't like sugar coatings, and also he doesn't like surprises. So, as soon as I said, why not warm springs? He said, shut up. And then that is how most of my Bollywood dreams vanished to a greater extent. So all the while, I was, as we were daydreaming, my friends, about these mountains and the noodles, my friend Arun was quite busy, as though he was calculating something for GDP of India. And that's when he said 4.3 rupees per kilometer. All of us in Kaur, what 4.3 rupees per kilometer? He said, if we rent a bike in Ladakh, it could cost us 4.3 rupees per kilometer, and the cost could vary by 12% depending upon the fuel price variation. Okay, fine. That is our analytical Arun. Arun is always like this. He doesn't speak much, but when he speaks, he comes with data and makes it a fact. And now, all of a sudden, everybody started giving their opinions. If it's in May, how long it is, and is it within budget? And they were already said, if it is the end of May, I am not in. That is when my friend Suraj, who pushed him, he said, no, I want to accommodate everybody. Everybody should be there. I don't want to miss it. It could be legendary for us, the memory for us. And he said, that's our support is Suraj. He's always there. Everybody wants to be there on the board. Now, as I learned through this conversation, what I learned is communication is not about who is right, but how we connect with each other. And when I try to, what I understood by each of this communication is, for example, David Devraj is very good and fast in coming to a decision. But at times, decision brings clarity and firmness, but they lack flexibility. Whereas my friend Arun is very analytical with data. Of course, data gives us clarity in making decisions, but a lot of data could also lead to analysis paralysis. You will miss the spontaneity. And then, when it comes to supportive style, they want to accommodate everybody like our HR people. But at the same time, that means everybody will not get what they really want. So, finally, communicators like me, who are initiative communicators, we bring in a lot of enthusiasm and ideas, but we miss actions. That is what I could also sense in my professional world. Whenever there is a change initiative, I say I am there. And I give bumps with a lot of ideas. When it is action, it is actually the team who is doing it. So, finally, friends, if I have to summarize communication, I would say key important aspect in a communication is it's not about talking. It's about listening and adapting and giving space for others to talk. If you then go for any trip or if you are there in any discussions for a trip with your friends, I would say take a moment, take a pause and let them speak, observe their communication style. Because life is all about C between B and D. C is choice of communication between birth and death. Thank you.
Toastmaster Girish's role in a team is simple. मैं काम नहीं करता हूँ, मैं काम करवाता हूँ. Moving on to the third speaker,
The evaluator for the third speaker is a 4-time TEDx speaker, a champion of table topics and evaluation, and he teaches. The co-owner of our club. To evaluate the third speaker, we have distinguished Toastmaster Dr. Rajdeep Manwani. Give a huge round of applause, please. To read out the guidelines, we have Toastmaster Puneeth.
The speaker is attempting level 3 elective of dynamic leadership path. The project is connect with storytelling. The purpose is for this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Puneeth. The third speaker is an expert at aerostructure, working in Airbus. A table tennis player. He is currently reading the book Blue Ocean by W. Jan Kim, with the speech title Power of Dreams and the Legacy We Leave. Power of Dreams and the Legacy We Leave. Welcome on stage, Toastmaster George Lisa.
Imagine for a moment that you have only few months to live. What would you do? How would you spend your time? What is the message you want to leave behind to your loved ones? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and all my dear guests.
Good evening.
This was not a hypothetical question to Randy Posh, a professor at Carnegie Mellon University, who was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer. Instead of drowning with sorrow, he gave one of the best lectures of all time, which was last lecture. The message was not about dying, the message was about living. Today I would like to share about 3 powerful lessons learned out from the book last lecture from his life, that will lead us to lead a life which is more fulfilling and meaningful. The first lesson is dream big and chase behind it relentlessly. Randy Posh always believed strongly on the childhood dreams. As a kid, he dreamt of being a Walt Disney imaginer, an entrepreneur, and a football player. But he also believed that most of his dreams will not come true as imagined. But the message here was to chase behind it relentlessly, the pursuitness. How many of us had a childhood dreams? As like some of you like to be an author, you like an entrepreneur, scientist, and actor. But some of us, along the way, life went off some upset, some backlash. Many of us, the message here from Randy Posh is, there is no age limit to start our dream again. If some of us think today that it's been old now, we are too busy now, life has taken all our way, I would like to challenge you on that. What is one dream today has been buried under the gravity of your routineness? I urge a request to dig it, to brush it, and to start again those dreams. At least today, but start small. Because the grievance is heavier than the failure. The second message here is there is always a brick wall in life, and it is there for a reason. One of the most powerful lessons from Randy Randy Posh's book is on the obstacle in life. And these obstacles are there to scrutinize with the people who want the dream very badly now, with the people who fit it. Randy also dreamt of being to select into the Disney World. He was rejected, but he went back. He worked hard, upskilled himself, and again when he came back, Disney opened up to collaborate. Randy's failure was not the end result. It was a detour to prepare himself and excel himself to be in par with Disney's acceptance. So today, we also upskill ourselves and again overcome those obstacles and get that final dream. The third message from Randy says, time is finite. Randy had a finite time and so is ours. Only thing is we have not been diagnosed terminally, God forbid, but we also have an expiry date and only the date and time is not yet known. So Randy's message here is to use our time very efficiently, to spend our time with family, to invest our time wherever it matters. At the end, time is very precious. To conclude, what will be our last lecture be? Randy's story is not only it's ours as well. Because we also have a great dreams, we also have obstacles and we have finite time. So tonight I would like to leave with a message saying, if you had to give your own last lecture, summarizing your life, what the message would it be? The most important thing is whether you're living a life that makes more memorizing and remembering to your loved ones. So let's dream big. Get through the obstacles and make most of our time very efficiently. At the end, it doesn't matter how long we live, it matters how well we live. Thank you. What do you think?
A bigger round of applause for Toastmaster George Disa. Time is precious. Start small, start now. With this message, we're going to take a 5-minute short break. People who need to use the washroom, the place is right to the left and down the corridor. And dear guests, I request you to speak to at least one new person at the club today. And dear members, instead of talking to the members, talk to the guests. We will meet after 5 minutes. Kindly take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. We are done with the first segment of today's evening, which is the prepared speech segment. We got a few insights. Now let's test those insights on our field. For this, I would like to call upon the table topic master. She is a software engineer working at Microsoft for the past 2 years. Loves listening to music and calm walks in roots of green. One of her goals that she wishes to accomplish by the end of 2025 is to join a physical activity class. I request that person to join us for a jog at Kabul Park every alternate days. Taking up this role for the very first time as our table topic master for the evening, welcome on stage Toastmaster Bhavya.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to the table topic session, a place where we improve our quick thinking skills through impromptu speaking. By participating in this, you will be able to impress your boss, connect with your colleagues, and dazzle your family members with quick and 1 minute 15 seconds, we will show green card, and at 1 minute.
No, 1 minute is green. 1 minute is yellow. Green, yellow, red. That's a carry on.
Green, ask a timer to read out the timing section. Can you please read it out?
Should we leave the timer?
It's good if you repeat it for the benefit of the artist.
Yeah, table topics timings are 1 to 1.5 minutes and with a grace period of 15 seconds. And I'll be showing a green card on 1 minute and 1.5 minute it will be red. And then I'll ring up and you have to vacate the stage.
So, are you ready to turn every unexpected moment into an opportunity to shine?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's start with the first table topic. Breaks are not distraction, but a chance to reset attention and incubate ideas. For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Jacob. Breaks are not distraction, but a chance to reset attention and incubate ideas.
Thank you for the table topic. Breaks are not
Breaks are not distraction, but a chance to reset attention and incubate ideas.
Of course, you need a break in everything you do. You need a break to break the monotony of day-to-day routine. Breaks are so important to reset your mind. However tenacious you are, however strong you are to reach a particular goal, I believe that a break is so welcome to reset your thoughts once again and start something new. To start something new, you need to take a break. It may be as simple as going to the beach and sitting there looking out into the sea. You would wonder why those waves sweep across the shores with so much tenacity that it flows against your toes. You may also feel sometimes the occasional nibble of the crabs which may be chewing on your toes, but then it all adds to the flavor. I think a break is a must for everyone to get away from that never-ending bucket list you might have formed, a bucket list of so many things which you had to do. So this is an opportunity to take a break. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob, for reiterating the importance of break. And I surely want to go on a beach for dinner. Okay, so the next topic is, when was your last spontaneous trip? When was your last spontaneous trip? For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Palak.
I don't remember when I've gone on a trip in a really, really long time. So talking about spontaneous, I actually don't really know. But I remember this trip that I went on with my cousins. So we are a group of 10 cousins. Okay, so we're pretty close knit. So it just happened. So hey, do you want to go somewhere? And then everyone in the group was like, no, I have exams, and mostly that's me because they always decide to do it on an exam day. So I'm the one who's stuck. But I went on a trip, I guess around 4 years ago with these group of cousins, and it was actually just 3 days before we were leaving. So my brother, he said on the group, do you want to go to Ooty? And everyone was like, yeah, let's go. Everyone was free at the time. So it was a weekend, and so we're like, okay, fine, let's just go. So since it was a cousin's trip, so even convincing parents was not a big issue. So yeah, so we hopped on a bus. We went there, and it was the best 2 days I've ever lived in my life. So yeah, that's it in fact.
Thank you, Toastmaster Palak. We all enjoy our trip with cousins. Okay, so next topic is a bit long, so I will read it twice. Okay. Have you ever faced a moment in your life where you could relate to Robert Frost's poem, Road Not Taken? Two roads diverge in the same road, and I took the one which was less traveled. Have you ever faced a moment in your life where you could relate to Robert Frost's poem, two roads diverge in the same wood, and I took the one which was less traveled by? For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Vivek.
So this is a right topic again to the wrong person who completely avoids. I'm extremely risk averse. Once you're risk averse, you don't take the path that people take. You don't take the path that's not taken often, right? So, but there was a situation in my career where things had come to a knot, and I had to do something about it. So that is when I had a break by taking charge of India head of a very small company known as Nestoria. Some of you must have used it. Nestoria is it's a vertical search engine, and they wanted a person in India, and they were only 13 of them. Nobody was in India, and 13 of them in London. They just wanted one person here and to lead their operation. So this is something which I would never take, because you never know whether they will really pay me. I had to go to London all the way to interview. I mean, for interview, no. They would pay me, but only I pay, go for the interview and come back. Those things I would never have done if I was extremely comfortable at an existing job. I don't think I would have ever done that. And I did that. That was something. Then people, after I got in there, people started asking me, how did you get this job? Oh, this looks so, whatever, that is so interesting, etc. So that was one thing I realized, that taking completely a different thing gave me a completely new perspective, working with an extremely small company and with a different set of people. Yeah, it worked out. Initially I was a bit apprehensive, but it worked out.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivek, for telling us a story how you took a risk and it turned out to be a right thing for you. Okay, so the next topic is one movie or a song that taught you a valuable lesson. For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Vivek.
Good evening, Toastmasters. For me, I think all of the Toastmasters came here by reading books and all. Right? I grown up watching movies and songs. It is not one movie. So I learned everything from the movies only. And it's not one song. It is all about multiple songs. So if you come to a typical Andhra, people, if they don't have money also, they'll try to go for watch a movie. When I started my career in the early days, what we need to do is we used to sell a product and then we have to make a money, not for a livelihood, to watch a movie in the night. What we used to do is we used to watch all the movies, first round, all movies. Again, the second round also we used to go and watch movies. Like that, if you ask me, there are so many movies. But one movie which I will talk about is the movie Megastar Chiranjeevi acted in it. The movie name is Rudraveena. In that movie, this movie has won a national award. But the reason is he was trying to talk about the different communities and different equality for all the people in that movie. And with that, there's an underlying silver lining to that is there's a music for that. I'm a big fan of listening to the music. And if you get a time to watch, and it's a fantastic movie where you can learn many things from it. Over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for sharing your favorite movie. Okay, so the next topic is share one childhood dream that has now come true. Share one childhood dream that has now come true. For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Vishal.
I believe 10 years ago. For the first time in school, I walked on stage to tell one single joke for a humor competition. When I went on stage and delivered my joke, the teacher stood up and said, "Vishal, that is the most serious joke I have ever heard in my life." And I came down, shivering, sweating buckets. And I never got on stage after that. I was too terrified. But in college, once I had to give presentations, once I had to give my final year project presentation, I had no choice. I had to get on stage. So with a little bit of my father pushing me, I came here on stage. Coming here, giving speeches without shivering. I am sweating, but at least not buckets. And at least you guys don't think my jokes are serious anymore. Now that's a dream come true. Being tenacious at this and being able to stick to this is something that I will always be proud of. Over to you, David
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishal. We all know your dream has come true because we know you are an exemplary speaker. Okay, so the next topic is, if you could become invisible, what would you do? If you could become invisible, what would you do? For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Vijayan.
I thought I was invisible because I was sitting there and I mean, if I become invisible, I'll solve most of the problems that the world is facing. I'll go and tackle terrorism on one hand, and then tackle the drug nexus on the other hand. And in the daytime, I will go and clear the traffic, try to clear the traffic by doing something with the signaling. So I think the imagination is endless if you can become invisible. On the other hand, let us just give a serious twist to this topic. People are becoming invisible in the current era. No, that is not a joke. No, what I meant to say is, even in the corporate circles, people are working in isolation. The person sitting and working next to him doesn't talk to him. So this is making them invisible, and this is actually leading to a lot of depression and other mental related diseases. So on one hand, we have to tackle all these problems if you become invisible, but on the other hand, you become visible and solve these issues that are visible to you, so that people can live a better life and we can make this place a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Viresh. I wasn't expecting to stay on this topic, yeah, but it was good. Okay, so the next topic is an Indian engineering marvel that fascinates you the most. An Indian engineering marvel that fascinates you the most. For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Akash.
If I'm being honest, it's nothing. Because I never wanted to get into engineering. So I feel Indian engineering marvel that fascinates me. Nothing comes to my mind right now. Because engineering for me has become something that I've been forced into because I'm Indian. Because once you finish your 12th grade, you're either a doctor or an engineer. And I had the same choice which I had to make. Now, when I was a kid, and I hated science. When I was a kid, I hated maths. Unfortunately, I happened to be good in both of them. So my mother told me you have a good scope in engineering, good field. It's a good field and you have good scope in this subject, so you are gonna go for it. And I was so disappointed with it. So since then, engineering has become something that I don't like to talk about, something that I avoid talking about all the time, even though it's what I'm studying. So an Indian engineering marvel that fascinates me, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Thank you, team, Toastmaster Akash, for sharing your engineering journey that you created. Okay, so the next topic is describe a time when you learned a valuable lesson from a failure and that changed your life. Describe a time when you learned a valuable lesson from a failure that changed your life. For this, I would like to call PM Vijayan.
My daughter is studying computer science in PS, Electronic City, and we live in Basungudi, which is 17 km apart. In Bangalore, we don't talk time in terms of distance, in terms of time. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster guest, what lesson this taught me? I argued with my wife. I put my case forward and said, the metro yellow line, I know we have someone in the metro in the house here, but please don't get angry. The metro yellow line will be up and running. My daughter joins the college and she can just go in about less than half an hour. And we all know what's happening there. I think it's the only metro project, not in Bangalore, not in India, forgive me, the entire world, where we have the infra ready, the infrastructure is ready. You have the tracks, the stations, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have the rolling stock, that is the coaches. And our very own Eapen, which is East Bangalore, which manufactured coaches for the purple line, green line. We just ignored them. We went all the way to China. China could manufacture. They outsourced to a company in West Bengal. They could manufacture, and the yellow line is still waiting to be running. Now forget the yellow line running. I am running from the house every day. That's the biggest lesson I learned. Get your facts right, friends. Don't go by what articles say, what the media says. Get your facts right. And when you're very sure, especially anyone, when you're talking to your spouse, otherwise you're going to put your foot in your mouth. This is the biggest lesson I've learned. Back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Aditi and Vijay. I was curious what you will speak about this, but then also you took Okay, the next topic is procrastination is not a time management problem, but an emotional problem. Procrastination is not a time management problem, but an emotional problem. For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Richard.
The Toastmaster, distinguished guest, as rightly pointed out, it happens because fear of failure. We believe that something is not going right, and that is why we don't go ahead. For this, a Hatha Yogi, he has prescribed a medicine. What is it? Whenever you feel that something cannot be done, you go ahead and do it. Suppose in winter you feel you can't take a bath in cold water, you do it. And we know the speech of our VT education, how she learned swimming during winter. Therefore, this kind of attitude, first, not the elimination process. In elimination process, you will avoid, you will clear the easiest things first and tough things next. But here, you have to catch the cat by its tail. First thing you have to do is to tackle the most difficult things. Then you have really conquered the procrastination, and you will really be riding on the thing which you dread that you will not be able to do. Go to Madam Tabletop.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richard, for not only describing the problem but also giving us the solution to act upon. For the next topic is describe the last time you traveled in train. Describing the last time you traveled in train. For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Srinivas.
On Friday morning, I had a train at 6 a.m. Bangalore to Ernakulam. I had to go to Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore. My train tickets are booked. I was waiting for the confirmation, whether I will get the train or should look for an alternative. I was waiting till 2 a.m., but my train is not confirmed. Normally, as per Indian Railways, they're supposed to give a confirmation at 4 hours before. I was having sleepless nights. I could not think what to do because that's a very important meeting I supposed to attend. And I thought, I'll book a bus. Fortunately, I got a bus ticket confirmed. At the same time, I got the train tickets also confirmed. Both cannot be cancelled, both are confirmed. Which way should I travel? Should I put my luggage in the bus and travel by train? So, yeah, I thought the same way. I put my big suitcase luggages on the bus and I traveled by train. The reason behind that is that my suitcase supposed to reach other destination and I supposed to reach other destinations. I backpacked my important things. I went ahead on a train to Bangalore to Coimbatore, in which, since I was not slept for a very long time, my stomach started calling. Hey Srinivas, give me some food. There I have chai, and samosas. Samose! There it goes. This is my train journey, which I cannot forget, which I came across recently. All day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinivas, for telling us how you wisely use both roadways and railways. Okay. So the next topic is share an incident when life gave you lemons and you made a lemonade. Share an incident when life gave you lemons and you made a lemonade. For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Ganesh.
I rarely binge watch Netflix or Amazon Prime. Very rarely. So I'm one of those who are forced to really see this series of all this. Right? accidentally last Sunday, I saw a documentary on Amazon Prime. I thought, something must be very captivating and racy. It was on a heist. Hyderabad, at least Hyderabad, as you can watch it. I thought it would be nice, very pulsating, catching a robber. So, and it turned out to be that way. So what had happened? There is one museum in Hyderabad, and there was one golden tiffin box which was stolen, and was all about catching the. Finally, the police, after intense search, they nabbed the thieves. And there is an interview where they have asked, you can ask questions to one of the thieves as to how you did, why you did. And when they asked why you did, his answer really shook me to heart. He says, I had come to India after working in Saudi for a couple of years, and then when I was not keeping well, and I was just roaming around, and then I saw, let me check this out. And when I saw, I hadn't seen anything of this sort, the golden tiffin box. So when I touched, the alarm went off, and the manager and the security guard came and thrashed me. They tore my shirt, and he says in that Hindi, Hyderabad Hindi, साहब वो मेरे को बोल सकते थे, मेरे को ऐसा क्यों मारने का था? मेरा शर्ट पड़ा उन्होंने. So I wanted to teach them a lesson. They hurt my ego. So I realized whether you are a plumber, a mechanic, or you are a CEO of a blue chip company, the basic thing what each human being wants is the need to be respected. So yeah, I thought I just waste my time, but in that process I learned something extremely valuable.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ganesh, for taking an interesting take on this topic. Okay, so the next topic is being wise is to know when to push for the best and when to settle for the less. Being wise is to know when to push for the best and when to settle for less. For this, I would like to call PM IST.
One of the best things that happened during my undergrad studies was to witness two leaders of two very different institutions run the institute. I would closely observe every Saturday Chendrath sir run JP College. He would let me sit in on the meetings while he would have staffs, stakeholders, shareholders, his CAs, everyone come in and go through, and I just sit in his office and just observe him. And on days when the Vice Chancellor of Christ University was free in the evenings, we would walk the campus. Observing them both, I realized how different, two completely different communities run a very core education business. And in both of these scenarios, all I had to do, most of the times, was just ask a question and shut up. And let them share whatever they had to share. It's unbelievable that both of them trusted me enough to let me in their offices, let me in on their meetings. And I believe it was implicit that I will maintain that trust and not share information between two, because these are like the top universities in the city. What I learned observing them both, especially during high-stake negotiations, was their ability to stay quiet and create tension in the room. You could feel it. Like when a few crores or 100 crores was at stake, they had a way to not only make the person comfortable initially, but then step back by staying quiet and build tension in the room and make the deal come to their favor. I think that's one of the most beautiful highlights I've had. That's been my BBA and MBA, not the degrees that I've gotten on a sheet of paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Puneeth, for sharing your valuable knowledge. So now, I would like to hand over to
Toastmasters meeting, and it's now time for evaluation. To head the evaluation section, we have with us a general evaluator. He's an application scientist with Paul Medical. When I was born in 2004, he had over a decade of experience. So that makes his career span more than 30 years. Like Toastmaster Guru, he's a big fan of movies, loves Bollywood especially, and an incident that made him tough was in his childhood when he was called by various names for being clumsy. Welcome the general evaluator on stage. The name that means gemstone in Sanskrit, Toastmaster Sitanshu Rakul Shetty.
Toastmaster Bryan left me confused. First he said there's a coffee later, and then still he says that there's going to be breakfast for champions. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, a big round of applause to all the role takers, the speakers who've taken the stage so far. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. I read this book by Robert Schuller in 2000, probably in the 80s. And what he speaks about is different ways in which one can manage or circumvent difficult situations, difficult people that one encounters in life, and become an achiever at the end. What I particularly liked about this book was the part where he talks about leadership. And he says that each one of us has got that leader within us, and we have certain goals that we are working towards. Each one of us. And he says that frustrating experiences, difficult situations, and sometimes even fracturing experiences of life. I hope you all understand what I mean by fracturing experiences of life. They very often deter us or make us take a detour from these goals. So all he says in a nutshell is that keep your sense of leadership intact, and the only thing that you need to surrender to is, without talking about religion as such, to what we all know as providence, or whatever we call the greater power. So coming back to the various tenacious role takers that we've seen in today's meeting, and let us get first a flavor of how each one of them did. Now coming to our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Amrith Kaur. Now the best part that she does every meeting, and she did it this time as well, was that she started the meeting on time. And not only that, I could see when I came at 6 o'clock that the entire room was set up, which is very important. It's not only that 2-minute address which the Sergeant at Arms gives at the beginning of the meeting, but even setting up of the room, the enthusiasm, the loudness with which she welcomed all of us, and the clarity and the confidence that really raised the energy. Don't you think so? Yes. I think so too. And she then spoke about speechcraft. I was wondering why is she talking about speechcraft suddenly. I thought that there is something which is, there is a detour that's being taken. But then I realized it was not a detour, but it was a different way of introducing none other than our very own president, Toastmaster Sheeb Kumar. So she did that job also very well, where she introduced our president in a different way. And that's what it calls for. Every meeting, a Sergeant at Arms needs to introduce the president in a different way to make it more engaging for all of us. Coming to our president, the role of the president for me is threefold primarily for each meeting. Beyond that, there's a lot that the president does. The president is actually what I consider the CEO of the club for the term. The president set the tone of the meeting. He introduced the Toastmaster and he did the guest introductions. These are the three roles that I look at as far as the president is concerned. Now, how did he set the tone? He had his story about his college life. He had a lot of humor. And then he spoke about Shanu in his story. And then he went on to introduce the Toastmaster of the day. And I was reminded of my old friend, Toastmaster Bruno, a very good friend of mine. And then he came down to talking about Toastmaster Bryan Nelson D'Souza, our Toastmaster of the day. All that was brilliantly done. And just one area of improvement from my side would be that when we introduce the guests per se, we ask them to rise. Beyond that, if you could have introduced one or two guests, ask them what they do, a little bit about their background, that would have made them feel more comfortable. The guests feel more comfortable as such. Because I think I understand that it's to manage time that one cannot ask all the, or maybe at least the first time guests can be introduced that way. And then Toastmaster Sheeb called upon the secretary to read out the minutes of meeting. All along, these three role takers ensured that the time was well within their control till they handed it over to the person who actually controls the time for the meeting, the Toastmaster of the day. So what do we give the Sergeant-at-Arms, the secretary, and our own, all three are our own, but having said that, what do we give all three of them? There's a cliche which the general evaluator follows, and I'm going to maintain that. I'm going to reserve the comments for the Toastmaster of the day at the end of the comment section. So let me do that. Now I'll move on to the table topic master. The table topic master, Toastmaster Bhaavya. Correct me if I'm wrong. You've taken the role for the first time as table topic master. So let's give the applause at the outset to the person who's taken up the role for the first time. And knowingly or unknowingly, she has played by the book. I don't know whether it is in conjunction with our BP education or whether she's consulted her mentor, but she had she first introduced the topic, first mentioned the topic, and then called the speaker, giving the time for the speaker to think on the topic. She, I would say, customized the topics according to the speaker, but because I didn't feel that any speaker felt uncomfortable speaking about a particular topic, everybody spoke about the topic given to them. She optimized the time because she was very clear in her mind that she was going to comment at the end of each speech, table topic speech. So she spoke her heart out and commented at the end of each speech, and she was consistent at that. She made it fun because she had a smile on her face, and the speakers enjoyed speaking. What else do you need? But looking at the second topic, I was a bit scared because she spoke about the entire title of Robert Frost's poem, and I was wondering what's happening here. But I mean, after that, all the topics were excellent. A couple of areas of improvement. The first one, you controlled that very well when you spoke about the very long second topic, and then the rest were okay. And that little bit of a fumble, which over a period of time, with the second or the third time you take up the role, it won't happen. The time taken, that is important to be for everyone to know. And the last thing is about, until then I was marking all the people who are being called are not people who are taking up roles. And all these green marks. And then one red mark. Yeah. So Dr. Rajdeep Manwani suddenly wondered why she calling me. I'm already evaluating this speech. And then Toastmaster Puneeth came up and gave his speech. Other than that, brilliant table topic session. Please play to your strengths. Probably you worked hard, but do repeat it because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Done a fabulous job. What do we give Toastmaster Bhaavya for a great table topic? And then we moved on to the Toastmaster of the Day. Now, the Toastmaster of the Day, for me, the most important thing that a Toastmaster of the Day does is make the person who comes on the stage feel comfortable. And one way that I would feel comfortable is if the Toastmaster of the Day knows whom he is calling on the stage. And he ensured that there were introductions for the speakers, the role takers, the evaluators, everyone who was called on stage. And fellow Toastmasters, what was the icing of cake on the cake for you as far as our tier Modi was concerned? Bingo. So he nailed it in terms of the humor. I don't need to say anything besides this on that aspect. He greeted all the speakers, role takers. He had apt introductions. Most important, the second important thing that a Toastmaster of the Day has to ensure, from the time the president calls the Toastmaster of the Day on the stage, he or she has to ensure that the timings are adhered to. So his address was so crisp, it had humor embellished which indicates his preparation, but it was, the timings were adhered to. Having said that, a couple of areas where I thought that he could have done a little better. Somewhere instead of saying someone, he said something. So that makes at that point it made a difference. When you call a person, you will never say something. So that is something that needs to be kept in mind. Second, when I speak of a diamond, how do I say it? He's a diamond. He's a diamond. He's a diamond. He's the diamond, right? Maybe I am not that dramatic enough. There are people more dramatic than me. But when you call somebody a Kohinoor of a club, you don't say Kohinoor of a club. You say the Kohinoor of our club. So a little bit, so that is just the extension of making people comfortable, the people who are coming on the stage and the audience comfortable. Make them amply comfortable, but that is something probably you will learn going forward. You managed the break well, the time well, for a job brilliantly done so far, and as it is going to continue even after my address. So big round of applause to Toastmaster Bryan. Now we begin the evaluation session, and for the first speech by Toastmaster Bhavana, I request her speech evaluator Toastmaster Vijayan to come up and give his feedback.
Am I audible? Yes. Okay. So decorate your skin with confidence and not an apology. So that's the message that the speaker delivered today. What a message. So first of all, kudos to the speaker for making an audacious attempt to speak on a topic which most of us consider it as taboo. Or people normally refrain from speaking about this particular topic. And the topic is about skin complexion. So I think for taking an audacious attempt, she deserves a round of applause. Let us see the areas where exactly the speaker fared really well. There are three specific areas which I feel. The number one is the personal example that she gave. When she was young, she found it very difficult to come to terms in terms of her skin complexion. And the kind of remedial measures that she took in order to ensure that she becomes fair. So when you use a personal example that lends credence to your speech, that's spot on. That's number one. And second, the characters that are involved in the speech. One, about her. Second, the mother who supported her in coming out of this inferiority complex. And third, she also spoke about, touched upon the brothers and sisters, and whose marriage discussions revolved around the skin complexion, the height and weight. So the moment you speak about a bit of characters in the speech and weave them into the story, it makes the speech special. That's number two. And third, this speech talks about being focused on the purpose of the speech. The purpose of the speech is to say or to convey a message that beauty is skin deep. And not even a single sentence was delivered just outside the scheme of things. Everything was related to the beauty, the skin complexion, and spot on. So these are the three areas where the speaker did remarkably well. One, a personal example. Two, the characters, the limited number of characters. And three, in terms of adhering to the principles. And where she could have improved upon. Number one, abrupt closure. She said, decorate your skin with confidence, but not with an apologies. But what do you want to convey? Summarize what you wanted to convey during the course of your speech. Point number 1, 2, and 3. Right? So that would have made your speech much stronger. Number 2. How you overcame your inferiority complex. So this is something that it is going to be taken home by everybody in the audience. So 3 specific measures or action points that you want everybody to take home. But you said that your mom gave you the confidence which is needed for you to overcome the complex that you are having. But other than that, are there anything else that you wanted to, or anything else that you had? That's something that was missing. So overall, the message was beautifully delivered, which is beauty is just skin deep. But a bit of work on the way in which you close your speech and the areas what the audience need to take back home are the ones which you need to deliver a bit more strongly for your speech to become more effective. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. Brilliant evaluation. Where you stuck to the objective, you use the commend, recommend, and commend methodology, what we call as the CRC methodology for the evaluation, and you summarized at the end. One area where if I could suggest, you could adapt in future evaluations, is that when we speak of the when we give our feedback to the speaker, we always say that this is my feedback, according to me. I believe, I think. That is our, of course, we have absolutely seasoned evaluators, but saying that it's my feedback is something that makes the speaker comfortable. And second thing, and when you were introducing this the project, said Pathways program, a little bit on what path she's taken would have been more appropriate. Having said that, for a comprehensive evaluation, what do we give Toastmaster Vaidyanathan? For the second speech by Toastmaster Girish, we have Toastmaster Shashank as the evaluator. I request Toastmaster Shashank, please come.
Thank you very much, Mr. Evaluator. Girish, the speaker, was attempting level 2, project 1, understanding the communication side. Just to summarize or reiterate the project purpose, it is for the member to learn about the different communication style and talk about or identify his or her primary style. What went well in this speech which Toastmaster Girish shared with us? He spoke about 4 characters in his speech. Do you remember the names? Devraj, Arun, Suraj, and the fourth one was of course Arun, Girish. He added characters to the names as well. Initiative Girish, or direct Devraj, or supportive Suraj, or analytical Arun. And when he described the characters, we could also relate to our friends. Say, even I have a friend, maybe who was like this. So the description of the friends and the examples he took, I think it was, we could relate to that very well. Each character spoke about the specific communication style and he had nice prefix to the speaker as well. And again, as we told, it was very relatable. In fact, the entire story was relatable. He decoded the entire project into 4 parts, 4 communication styles, and made sure that we understood what he was trying to convey through some examples. Even when he added the description in the beginning, when he spoke about his general trip to Ladakh, the lush green, etc., I am sure all of us felt the urge to go to Ladakh. That's how his description was. And the best thing about his speech, he added humor in his speech. When he spoke about planning the trip and they're still discussing and debating in the 60s, or we call it the direct Devraj, the way he told it, or like GPS, very precise or no emotion. I think there were very points which had a lot of humor there. And at parts he had a lot of vocal variety as well. For example, when he said, like direct Devraj, he was cut to the chase guy. So we could relate to the person who Devraj was as well. But the one thing which makes a speaker a good speaker is the voice and the confidence. And when he had the voice and confidence, that showed us that he had all the elements of a good speaker. Now, a couple of recommendations from my end to make this speech even better. First one is regarding the structure. While you spoke about the 4 categories and then you spoke about the learnings later, you could have actually started with the style and the learning from that style as well. So that would have ended that part, you could have started the next one immediately. Second is the structure itself. You started by saying, let me start by asking. You could have asked directly, how many of you have planned a trip? Or when you concluded, if I have to summarize, and then you summarize, directly summarize. And how do you do that? By closing the ends. When you started the trip by talking about the 60s, the people debating in the 60s, you could have told, if you don't take action, even we'll be debating in our 60s about the trip. Or what happened to your trip? So something about the trip to conclude or to tell us if it happened or did not happen. Emphasis on that would have added more masala to your speech. However, you had a brilliant speech. This was one of the best implementations of the projects of understanding communication style which I have listened to. Couple of recommendations. Your speech will definitely be elevated as your name suggests to the top of the mountain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shashank. A clinical evaluation which stuck to the objective, which used the CRC method, and was overall constructive and supportive. I would have only looked at a little bit of a better time management wherein towards the end you did not have to really hurry up and really struggle to complete the evaluation. And the summarization could have been done more comfortably. But besides that, I do agree that it was a brilliant speech. Once again, both the first and the second speech. Brilliant speech and great evaluation. Big round of applause to both the speaker and the guys. We move on to the third evaluation for the speech given by Toastmaster George. And for this, I'd like to request DTM Rajdeep Manwani to please come up and give this evaluation.
Fellow Toastmasters, General Evaluator, and George in particular. Today we took us through an inspirational journey of the last lecture of Randy Posh. Now I'm going to use the letters of the word Randy itself to evaluate you, the R-A-N-D-Y. since your speech was a little enigmatic, I'll leave the R aside and I'll start off with the A and the Y and then come back to the R. The A, what was good in your speech? Brilliant articulation. I think so. You pronounced everything well, and amplification. Even though your mic didn't work, you actually amplified your voice. It gave us the josh that you're speaking at the last lecture, and you gave us the message very clearly. So great articulation, great amplification. The N in the Randy was the non-verbal communication. I couldn't see you, but Puneeth was describing for me the way you use the stage brilliantly, your attire as if you're actually going for a graduation ceremony and your blue suit, and the way in which you used your gestures were very, very well done. So good articulation, good non-verbal communication. Now coming to the D of the Randy, what you could have done better? Every good story needs dialogues and drama. And I thought there was an absolute missing of dialogue. Might be even when you're giving the last lecture, you should have said, as time passes, we all lose our time. Give excerpts of the speech so there is a dialogue with the audience. Also drama. Might be one incident from Randy's life where he chased his dreams and he went on to reach it. So there was no drama and there was no dialogue. So if you would have added that, that would have made so much of a difference. And the why, you need a yoke to get everything together. You know, when you get oxen together, you have to yoke them, right? So when you gave us the three messages, connect it with a yoke, get the audience to remember it afterwards. Say, if you want to leave a dot on the sands of time, D, chase your dreams. O, obstacle is the way. T, time is essential. So D-O-T. And that would have added so much to your speech. Now coming to the R. It was a big riddle for me. What was the riddle? The riddle was it a story? And you have to answer that. Because I thought it was more of a motivational speech rather than a story. So next time I think so, if you need characters, you need conflict. So answer that riddle and see that it was a story. I thought it was more of a motivational speech than a story. So if you can answer that riddle. So let me summarize with my traditional 3-line poem. Today, you took us through the inspirational journey of Randy. Just weaving it into a story would have made it a little more handy. But your inspiration gave it to all of us a motivational candy.
Fellow Toastmasters, I can't call that just a clinical or a comprehensive evaluation. It's a captivating evaluation, I would say. Because right from 12 years back, 13 years back, I've been hearing acronyms from Dr. Lajit, and he's been consistent, and I've been hearing poems from him in his evaluations, not in his speeches. So what did Dr. Rajiv do right? He implicitly stuck to the objective, where he spoke about the storytelling objective in the speech. He used the CRC method. He used his time well to summarize, and where he also added a poem at the end. He could allow that comfort to himself at the end. And he did not state this as his own view, but I think we can pardon him for it. But since it's Dr. Rajdeep, we know that what he brings in is years and years of experience, having been the evaluation champion for 6 times in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 7. So a big round of applause to the speaker as well as the evaluator. Now we move on to our tag team and to their report. And first I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Shreyas to give his timer report.
Speakers, evaluator, and table topic speakers, everyone are within the timelines. All of them qualified. Like our team tough times never last, tough people do. I think it will be a tough competition. Thank you.
Thank you for that crisp report, and the need of the hour was a quick timer report. Thank you for that. Big round of applause to our timer, Toastmaster Shreyas. Requesting the Toastmaster Akash for his counter report.
Good evening once again. So I hope you guys will take me seriously. And people who did not use single crutch word were Toastmaster Mahesh, Toastmaster Akash, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, and DDL Dr. Arti Manwani. People who use less than 5 filler words or crutch words: Toastmaster Amrith, Toastmaster Sheeb, Toastmaster Bhavana, Toastmaster Girish, Toastmaster Jacob, Toastmaster Palak, Toastmaster Guru, Toastmaster Vishal, Toastmaster DTM Vijayan, Toastmaster Srinivas, Toastmaster Puneeth, and Toastmaster Shan. And people who could do better, use more than 5 crutch words, were Toastmaster Bryan, Toastmaster George, Toastmaster Bhaavya, Toastmaster Vivek, Toastmaster Viresh, Toastmaster Richard, Toastmaster Ratan, Toastmaster Ganesh, Toastmaster, that's it. Special mention, just so that you take me seriously, is like I would urge Bhavya to reduce the uses of okay. So I felt every time you use okay. And the two most used filler words were and long pauses. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakash. We move on to Toastmaster Himani for the remaining report.
Talk about not so good usages. Making it second oldest club should be this is the second oldest club. I tried all. I tried everything. As I grew up, she then told, she said, this is some beliefs. Instead of is, it should be there are certain beliefs. His parents expected what made him today. Should be his parents expected is what made him what he's today. Is it us friends? Because you're referring to friends, it should be is this us friends. Having our jackets, wearing our jackets, how long it is in May? How long will it be in May? Then chase behind it, chase it, simply chase it. I grew up, life's upset, life's ups and downs. If you come to a typical Andhra, so there is no A. If you come to Andhra, get through obstacles, overcome obstacles. So those were some not so good usages. Talking about good words and sayings used during the meeting. Cut to the chase, shivering buckets, foot in your mouth, pulsating, thrashed me. And word of the day was used by Toastmaster Amrith, Toastmaster Sheeb, Toastmaster Jacob, Toastmaster Vishal, and Toastmaster Rampal. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Himani, and a big round of applause to all our tag team players today. Coming to the meeting, how it went, couple of things from my side. Firstly, what I really liked was the fact that when I came in at 6, as I said, the Sergeant at Arms was there speaking with the guests. A couple of guests would just come in, which is a very good welcome gesture. The ExCom members, as I can see, the DP membership, the DP education, besides the president,
All 7 of them are there today in the meeting. Correct me if I'm wrong. Except for the treasurer. But that's a good way to go about it. The ExCom members, at least I would say, they need to be present. All of them need to be present. The ExCom members at least for all the meetings, to the extent possible. Of course, there can be contingencies. Having said that, I would have expected that our president, or rather I would have liked it if our president would have made the ExCom members visible to all our members and also to the guests so that they know who the VP membership is, whom they can approach for their membership. He would probably say that during his closing address. Before I leave the stage, I want you all to give a thunderous round of applause to the committee and in particular to the VP Education, because accidentally when I was trying to look up some site on Toastmasters, some page on Toastmasters, I landed on the dashboard. And what do I see? In the month of March, we are already a President's Distinguished Club with 9 DCP points. That gives me goosebumps, and that shows the amount of tenacity which the committee has gone through to ensure that we just have one member to give a level 2 speech, and the level 2 speech will be done and we'll have 10 out of 10 DCP points. Let's have a big round of applause for that. And last but not the least, thanks for this opportunity to be the general evaluator. Again, as my good friend Alan says, any of you, if you made points where I can improve, please feel free to get in touch with me and let me know. With that, I hand it back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bryan. Yes. The password for today is numeral 2132. And we'll give you a few seconds to cast your vote. 2132. Numeral 2132. The members can cast their vote. I hand it back to our Toastmaster of the day and thank the committee for this opportunity. Back to you.
Toastmasters, as you cast your votes, just would like to leave a message. Tough times never last. The tough experiences that we face make us who we are today. Curd, milk is valuable, but when it spoils, when it faces a tough experience, its value increases when it becomes curd. And then when it again gets more experience, it goes into paneer or ghee. So your experience is your worth. And back to the business.
Give a round of applause once again for dynamic, dashing Toastmaster Bryan. Request our VP Education Chaitra to give away the level 3 certificates for those members who are coming at levels.
Toastmasters, I'm happy to announce that Toastmaster George Dizar has completed level 3 of dynamic leadership.
still open. Those who have not renewed, please kindly renew to avoid last minute pressures. Then newsletter, we are going to release a newsletter maybe in the month of May. So our Toastmaster Akash has requested our members to be ready with your articles. He will be in touch with you. And after the meeting, our Toastmaster Mahesh, can you stand up please? He's the VP membership of our club. He will take you through your clarifications of questions regarding Toastmasters International outside the room. That's it. And the best auxiliary award goes to our grammarian Toastmaster Himani Pandey. The best table topic award goes to Toastmaster Viresh. The best evaluator award goes to distinguished Toastmaster Dr. Rajiv Manwani. And the best gold taker award goes to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bryan. Award goes to someone who taught us about the different communication style, Toastmaster Girish K. I request all the winners to please come back and join us on the dais. Thank you so much, everyone. The snacks are ready. With that, I close the meeting 1470. Thank you so much.